Welcome to Clarity Aquascape Landscapes. Today I'm going to be installing a Aquascape slate stacked urn. It's the kit form, so it comes with a large reservoir which is going to go in this hole here. I'm going to change the shape of it, dig it down so it's completely submerged, and then the slate stack urn will sit on top of it. It's completely self-contained, it recirculates, and also because we're sat under this tree, because the water reservoir is held under the ground with pebbles over it, all these little pine needles are not going to clog it up, whereas this pond was constantly getting clogged up with pine needles, and it's probably got 6 inches sat in the bottom now, so very unsuccessful as a pond. But as a water feature, I think it's probably the best bet, and it look really nice in the corner of the garden. The job is to tidy up, so I'm going to remove all this large stone, put that to one side, remove all the old pond, remove the old water feature, and just tidy up this area, and then I'll be excavating. I'll be excavating for the actual reservoir itself, making sure that I'll just drop straight in, which we'll be doing tomorrow. Alright, it's all a bit of graft. Basically I'm going to be moving the stone, tidying up, getting rid of all the branches. It's nothing too exciting, so I'm going to put you on time lapse and you can watch away. Thank you. The old pond didn't put up much of a fight, which is always good news. Quite a few stones just moved to the side, which I'm going to use later. Right, so I need to set out where my aqua basin is going to be. It's the larger one, it's the 45, I think it's 370 odd litres. So the aqua basin is about 4 foot by 4 foot, about 18 inches deep from memory. So you basically need to dig a hole big enough for it. So I actually already started off with quite a decent sized hole. I just need to make it square to fit the aqua basin, and then I'll have it slightly sunk down and then put a line around it to run the water back into it. If there's any splashing, then it'll all end up in the aqua basin because it's going to be quite a large urn. It's not one of the smaller ones. So you can use a tape measure, or my smaller level is actually 4 foot long, 120 centimetres. So I know the aqua basin is pretty much the same size as this. So I need to dig a hole just slightly bigger than this, sat right in the corner of the garden. I don't want to pin it right up against the wall, because you won't see it when you're standing at the other end of the garden. I want to bring it out a little bit into the garden, but not have it right in the middle of the lawn. So I'm going to bring it out to roughly where I'm standing, so you'll get a really nice view from the house from several windows. Also behind you, the garden goes off in that direction, the garden goes off in that direction. You'll be able to see it from all parts of the garden, which is going to be really nice, quite a nice focal point. It's going to be from that line there, across here, and across there. So I don't need to dig out too much, and I've got plenty of place to dispose of the soil for now. I'm going to landscape around it after. So all I've done is dug down to the desired depth, which the aqua box is 41 centimetres, but we want to be a bit lower than that because the aqua box wants to sit a little bit lower than ground level, because by the time you get pebbles and things on there, you want it to be sunk into the ground rather than sticking up like a volcano. So the base of the ground is approximately level, or it's within a few mil in every direction, so you can check it by going across diagonally from side to side and diagonally that way. So we're close enough. And then to check the depth, it's pretty straightforward. So I've roughly got this little edge here as my benchmark. So all I do, slide the level out to about, so slide the tape out to about 50 centimetres. What I now do is I put the tape to the depth of the reservoir, so I know it's around about 41 centimetres deep. So I know if there's a bit of a gap down there to put some sand in after, I'm deep enough. So what we do, put that end on here, so that's our benchmark, that's the side of the ground level, and lower this down until we get just in between the lines in the bubble. And you can see we've got 41 centimetres on the tape and about 20-30 mil underneath there, so that's plenty to put a layer of sand under there just to bed the whole thing in and get it absolutely perfectly level. So that's our next job. So these are just bags of sharp sand. These got a bit of sand and gravel in, but it'll do the same job. It's just so next I get my level. You can use just a bit of wood, but I quite like using level because I can see exactly heights and everything there. So at the moment got a bit too much over this end here. A bit too much at that end. and a bit too much of that end. So if I start here, so the reason why it's important to get the base level is because your reservoir is going to sit on that, and the top of your reservoir also needs to be level as well, because if it's on a slant, the water inside the reservoir is going to be on a slant, and also your water features are going to be on a slant as well. So if you get this right, everything else after it is a lot easier. You're not having to wedge the water feature to get it perfectly level and mess around with it. If you spend a bit of time and care now, then life's a lot easier in the future. Right, that's the winner. Fits in, bit of space around it, so we can just backfill with a bit of sharp sand and some of the soft soil that we have lying around the outside. I put the access area towards the electrical point over there, just so we can get the pumps in this point here and feed them up through the bottom of the feature nice and simply. Right, so I'm going to crack on. Just need to double check it's level, and then we can crack on with installing the urn. Right, to plumb these features is really simple. So this is the hose which goes all the way down through the centre and connects to the pump on either end. So it just sits firmly straight in there. Has these little lugs on it with a bayonet fitting. They line up with the bottom half there. Right, this is the pump that comes in the kit. It's the Aquascape Ultra 2000, which is 7,500 litre per hour fountain pump, so plenty big enough for this size of feature. Right, so this feature's got can have a light in the top, and then two lights, one this side, one this side, just illuminating it from the bottom. So Aquascape do this light with a hole through the middle, which you can basically push straight into the centre, and then the water can bubble up through it. But the only issue with that is it reduces the size of the hose. So what tends to happen is the water tends to jet really high, and you have to have a slower flow rate. But because this is quite a large urn, I want to try and create the flow rate to be as fast as possible. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole in the top there, stick the cable down through the inside, just glue it in place, a bit of silicone, and then work really well. Okay, bit of progress. So the last step was to basically backfill the aqua basin. So I just backfilled with some of the rubble and the sand and the soil I had from excavating the hole. It's a very tough bit of kit, so you don't have to be too precious about it. You could just backfill it with sharp sand if that's all you've got, but that's absolutely fine. Right, so this is one of the larger urns. So the larger urn is about this wide. Is that if it's windy or it's splashing quite a lot, the water from the outside of the urn will splash to the outside of the basin, which in turn will basically drain the basin itself, and you have to be having to top it up very regularly. So we don't really want that. We want it to be low maintenance and fill it up and plug it in, plug and play, forget about it. So what I'm going to do is I created an area outside of the basin, which is going to be our catchment area for the water. So what I'm going to do is put a liner in this whole area, and if you notice, it slopes from the outside in, so any water which will fall in this area will end up back in the basin. So the next step is to create this apron. So what I'm going to do is put some sharp sand over the rough soil, put a layer of underlay down just on the outside area, then I'm going to lay my liner over the top of the whole thing and then cut it aside. So I cut out a section in the middle so the water can drop down through the holes, and also I'm going to run the liner just up to about this sort of level, so and then I can cover it all with cobbles, so that will create a bit of a slope going from here down to here, so all the water will end up back in the reservoir. It's not particularly exciting, so I'll just stick it on time lapse. Okay, so that's the underlay underneath and the rubber liner on top. One thing to mention, I almost did a very rookie mistake. So under here, where the underlay goes underneath, you don't want it coming up and over and into the reservoir area, because what will happen when this is running, the water would wick up the underlay and you'd lose water. So that's a very rookie mistake on my behalf, but I rectified it before we got into trouble. So now the underlay stops on the outside of the water basin, and then but the rubber liner does continue over and in. So basically any water that lands in this area will return to here. So I've cut a hole in the centre, so that allows me to fix the Aquascape urn to the water feature. We just need to make a little bit of access here, so we still need the water to travel into the aqua basin. If I push down here, I can see the edge of the aqua basin. Right, I can start with the exciting stuff now. So I'm going to install the base of the urn. Easy. Just put the urn on the centre of the aqua basin and have the pre-drilled hole bang in the centre. Okay, these urns are quite light, so they will blow around. So, but the easiest way to hold them in place is to use just a cheap bag of gravel rather than filling them with loose gravel inside. Because if you ever come to service it, move it, or move house, you'd have to get all the gravel out by hand, which is a pain in the backside. So I'm just going to use a couple of bags of gravel, pop them in the bottom, and that'll hold it in place. Okay, earlier I mentioned about the flow rates. So this is the connection just fits in the top. So that's the largest one that comes with it. You can create a more complicated water feature where you take this out and put a solid piece of pipe there, and that you can greatly increase the flow rates. But for this kind of installation, this is absolutely perfect. And this is the light I've used. It's the one that's normally fitted in the centre. I've just used it there. So all I've done is drilled a little hole in the side of the reservoir. So all I've done is just drilled a little hole inside of the feature, pushed it in, thread the cable through it, and just sealed it all up. There's a bit of seal in the middle as well, so the water doesn't go down there. But what I do want to do is have this light at the front, so when it's working it lights up the front of the feature. So that just drops into place and then locks. That's the access panel, and access panel removed, and that's the pump installed, and that's the hose there, and the other cable is for the light. And this is what the top of the water feature looks like now. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill the basin up, just give it a quick test before we get too committed. Okay, so I did turn it on, but I'm not going to show you until the end, so you need to watch to the end. Right, I've levelled it, so it's pretty much spot on. So when you turn it on, you can just see how it's flowing. If it all comes out one side, you need to raise up that side. If it's all coming out the other side, you need to raise up the other side. So what I'll do is I'll just cut a few little scraps of the liner, because it's 1 mil thick, and I can just fold it and just tweak it, poke it underneath until I get it perfectly level, which it is now, and job's a good one. So I'm just going to turn it off, carry on filling up the base. What I like to do is just put some waterfall foam just around the base, just to hold it firmly in place. If you ever need to remove it, you could give it a bit of pressure and it'll probably just come out. But just in this setting, I like just to make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, so these are the little lights we're going to use. So there's obviously the light in the top, and these are the Aquascape waterfall lights. So they're nice and slimline. They're quite a wide beam, which is nice, but I basically want to illuminate from the base going upwards. So I need to put them one on this side and one on this side, because there's the two sides that it's going to be viewed from. You don't need to worry about around the back. So that's going to sit roughly about there. So that light will come up here and just go on here, and all the water as it drops down at night will create a beautiful effect. And the same on this side. In fact, I might even just put a blob of foam there and stick them down. Okay, I'm really pleased how this has turned out. I thought the size of them was probably a bit too big for this garden, but it's actually spot on. Because when you're standing down that end or back over there, you can see it from both directions. I think it's actually really good proportions for the size of the garden. Quite often people have these little tiny piddly little water features and they're just like lost within the garden. So this makes a real statement, and it's a really nice sound, and the birds have already started drinking from it, which I'm really happy about. So this is a slate stack urn set. So it comes with aqua basin, which is under there, that's where the water's collected. This is the 114 centimetre slate stack urn. There's a few different sizes. If you have a look on the website, you can see all the different specs you can get. You can even create fountains with multiple slate stack urns. It looks really nice, with a medium one, a small one, and in a trio. It looks really nice. This is a single set, and it comes complete with everything you need. There's a few bits and pieces you might want to add. Lights. So on this one, it's going to be viewed from two directions. So this direction, so there's a light here, and there's also a light there, and also I've put a light in the top. So at night, this is really going to be a standout water feature. The lights are the Aquascape ones, so they're the waterfall style lights, and then the one on the top is the one which is normally used for a nozzle for these water features. The lights all run off a transformer, and it also includes a clever little sensor. So the lights will automatically turn on at dusk, and you can set how long you want those lights to be on for, sort of 4 hours, 8 hours, I think 10 hours as well, or just all night. So that's much easier than trying to set timers and things like that. And they seem to be very reliable. I think they come with a 5-year guarantee. So now it's running, you can see the area which splashes. So that area is much bigger than the aqua basin. So that's the reason I put the liner apron around it. So that collects all of that water and sends it back to the basin, so we're not losing any. I'm Mark from Clarity Aquatics and Landscapes. Hope you enjoyed the video and inspired you to do it yourself. It's taken me 2 days to complete this. But there was an existing pond there which I had to rip out, and there was a lot of concrete, so it's taken, you could probably, 2 people could easily do this in 1 day. I've taken my time and done it in 2. As a little benefit, I'm going to put a discount code on the screen, so anybody who wants to purchase any Aquascape water feature will get free shipping and an extra discount of around 5% off the total cost. So well worth doing. Just look out for that little tasty treat of a discount code. We can ship to anywhere within the UK, but things like Northern Ireland and Scottish islands may incur slight charges because obviously they're a little bit further than the norm. As a bonus to watching this video, and you're really interested in either us coming to fit your water feature, which we can do so anywhere in North Wales, or if you want to have a go yourself, you can purchase the kit, and if you use the discount code that's on the screen now through our website clarity-aquatics.com, you'll get free shipping and an extra discount of around 5% off the total cost, which doesn't sound like much, but it's worth it. So I've been Mark from Clarity Aquatics. Hope you learned something. I've been Mark from Clarity Aquatics. Hope you've been inspired to install a water feature in your garden. So these are ideal for pretty much any size garden really, but you can get them in different sizes. They're child safe, which is really good. They're wildlife friendly, and they're really low maintenance. Maybe just need to put a hose pipe in there to top it up every now and again. And because the water's stored underneath, the water stays crystal clear all the time. I literally filled this up half an hour ago. It's a little bit cloudy from the dust from the cobbles, but that'll soon clear. I've been Mark from Clarity Aquatics. Thanks for watching.